Hello and welcome to my brand new podcast, Better Than Yesterday. I have tried and failed in the past to film a podcast like most people, and maybe this will be the exact same, but I'm hoping it won't be the case. Myself and MTN, some of the other coaches, used to film the Sunday roast, which lasted for about 21 episodes, which is about the average length of time that most podcasts fail. I'm going to put down the reason for failure based on it took us half an hour to set the actual setup up. We had to get 2 or 3 coaches at the one time. We had to upload it to some special thing and then put it on Spotify and Apple Music and blah, blah, blah. If I'm being completely honest, I plan on keeping this super simple. It's quite literally an iPhone, a Rode mic right now, and some notes on my laptop. If this goes well, if I find myself being super consistent with it, then I will 100% invest in a little bit more time, a little bit more money into equipment and things like that. But for now, the biggest thing that I want to provide with this is just value every single week, hopefully some weeks twice a week as well. So like I said, the name of the podcast is Better Than Yesterday. That is one of our core values here at MTN Coaching, and it basically just means making a little bit of progress every single day, every single week. And as long as you're improving based on yesterday, based on last week, last month, last year's performance, then things are all good. So the overall kind of layout, what I plan on this podcast being laid out like, we're going to break down a question that we've had, whether that is something past, something present, something I think we might be asked in the future. I have been coaching now for 9 years. It is very rare that I get a new question. So what I've kind of realised is I spend a lot of my time answering very similar questions. I'll be completely honest, part of the reason I'm doing this podcast is to bank a ton of content so that any question I get in the future, I have a short 10 to 20 minute video for me to send to a client if they ask me anything on a specific topic. So like I just mentioned there, the episodes are going to be really short, really sweet. I'm going to try and keep them anywhere between 8 and 25 minutes. Like 25 will be a long one for me. I don't plan on having any of them to be that length, if I'm being completely honest. I plan on keeping them short and sweet. I want this to be something that you can listen to on your morning walk, on your morning commute, whilst you are warming up in the treadmill. Maybe you're doing a cool down. Something that's just short, sweet, and hopefully actionable for a lot of people as well. So like I said, I'm going to break down a particular topic or question like every podcast does. It is not that special. It's not that different. The content will be though. The value, the information, and my knowledge and experience hopefully will be. And then at the end, I'm going to have a little bit of a surprise recommendation every single week. Now, that might not sound that enticing right now, but the surprises will get better week by week, month by month. If I'm being completely honest right now, I'm just going to give you a recommendation on something that I've been doing in my weekly routine, something I've been listening to, whether that's a podcast, a book, even just music that I'm loving right now. I am obviously a massive country music fan, so maybe every week you're just going to get a country music song from myself. Alongside that, it's going to be series, it's going to be film recommendations. That might sound pretty random. It is going to be random. It's quite literally just anything that I have been doing in my week or a life that I think would benefit someone, whether that's from an educational standpoint or whether that's just from a value and entertainment standpoint. So that's the basic premise. It's going to be short, 10 to 20 minute episodes. I'm going to give you a little bit of a surprise recommendation at the end of every single episode. I'm really bad at clicking my fingers. So let's dive into it. The first question, the first episodes, the first time that you're going to hear from me. We want to chat about what to do if you've not got a coach and you really want to take advantage of your physique. So how to get in shape without a coach is going to be the question. And I'm going to break that down and just basically tell you exactly what I would be doing, because in my opinion, you don't necessarily need a coach. It just does speed things up a little bit. So I always relay this back to learning how to play an instrument or learning any new skill, whether that's a language, anything like that. You can certainly learn absolutely anything by yourself. There is so many self-taught musicians, there's self-taught athletes, there's self-taught bilingual people that teach themselves more than one language. But equally, the people that get help from the get-go probably progress a little bit faster. But the aim of this podcast is to hopefully provide value to those that maybe can't invest in a coach right now. It's maybe not the right time for them. They can't afford a coach. They maybe just don't want to work with a coach for whatever particular reason. I want to just give you the knowledge, the tools, the insight into exactly what I would do in order for you to get in shape without paying anyone. Quite literally just with the laptop, the phone, the internet. That is all you need. So you can do this. Like, I've seen plenty of people do this. I've seen plenty of coaches themselves get into incredible shape. I've even seen professional bodybuilders that have won, high level shows get in great shape without any sort of coaching. Yeah, they've just self-taught, they've read a ton of information. Does that mean there's a little bit more learning and education from the get-go? 100%. Does it mean you can maybe save yourself some money? Maybe, yes. Does it mean you'll save yourself time? Probably not. You are going to have to invest a little bit more time if you're looking to get in shape yourself. So there's probably three main keys here. Number one is you need some form of training plan. This is probably the most daunting thing, like how do I create my own training plan? If I'm being completely honest, it couldn't be easier than ever nowadays. There's two places that I would probably go to for this. Number one is YouTube, which we'll chat about in a second, and number one is a new AI app, which some of you may have heard of, ChatGPT. So with number one being YouTube, what I would do if I was lost, if I didn't know what to do, if I wanted to get myself in shape, I would quite literally go to YouTube, open up the search function and type in the number of days that you want to train, what you're looking to achieve from that goal, and I would search that. So I am looking to train for 4 days per week, or 4 day per week training plan for building muscle. Put that into YouTube, you'll get 1,000 awful search answers if I'm being completely honest. Filter them to the most viewed. Generally, the most viewed content will be the better content. Not always, but generally. Look at the top 5, consume all 5 videos, take from it what you can, what you need. All of it's not going to be relevant to you. Some of it might be muscle building for females, some of it might be muscle building for male, some of it might be muscle building for athletes, whatever else. But look at the top 5 videos, spend a little bit of time consuming them. Some of them might take you a little bit of time to get through. You should be able to create a plan based on those 4 or 5 videos. If not, a lot of those YouTube videos will quite literally give you a plan to follow for the first 2, 3, 4 weeks. It's just going to give you something to get started with. So that's where I would start if I was just going to YouTube. If you're someone that prefers to just have something visual and watch something, head to YouTube, use the search function, quite literally type in what you're looking for, filter through some of the nonsense, filter in, you should find some really good stuff. A lot of my learning, a lot of my education, even 9 years on from coaching, still comes from YouTube videos. If you want direct sources, please feel free to message me. I can certainly send some recommendations based on you as a person, what kind of program might work for you and whatever else. But yeah, we'll keep it pretty general for now. Like I said, the second way would be something like ChatGPT. Now, ChatGPT is a new-ish AI search function that quite literally you ask it and prompt it with any question, it's going to give you pretty extensive answers. Like, this thing is smarter than 99% of the population. It is pretty damn good. I've already used it just to see like if this works, if this is the case, and it works phenomenally well. So open up a ChatGPT AI account. All you're looking to do from there, you need to give it the proper prompts. So rather than just give me 4-day training split, like prompt it for longer. The more that you can kind of beef out the question, the more that you're going to get from this. So what you would probably do with this is ask it something like, hey, I am looking for a fitness trainer that specializes in whatever your goal is, fat loss, muscle building, strength and performance, whatever that might be. I'm looking for a personal trainer that specializes in muscle building. I want to train 4 days per week. I have a hamstring injury, so I can't do deadlifts. Could you write me a 4-day training split for an intermediate lifter? Is it going to be perfect what it spits out? No, but to be honest, and is it going to be generic? Yes, but to be honest, you probably don't need anything crazy specific right now, even less so if you're not willing or able to pay for it. And does it need to be crazy specific? Like, probably not right now. So you probably don't need that. You just need a plan. You just need something to follow. You need something to show up to and perform every single week, every single month in the gym. So once you've got that plan, it's going to give you 4 training sessions. All you're doing from there, go to the notes section on your iPhone, Samsung, whatever you've got as a phone, write out what the exercises are, and then every week, repeat the workouts. Every week, all I want you to do is make it a little bit harder. So if week 1, you squat 60 for 3 sets of 5, week 2, squat 62.5 for 3 sets of 5, or do 3 sets of 6 at 60. All I want is just a little bit of progress. I don't actually care at this stage, and you shouldn't either, what that looks like. If you're new to training, you just need a plan to follow. Follow something religiously for 4 to 8 weeks without any deviation. All you're doing week by week, month by month is just making it that little bit harder. So keep that in mind. That is training covered. It seems super simple. It is. It took me 5 minutes to cover that. It'll take you probably between 25 and an hour and a half to find the program and to research and whatever. If you want it short and sweet, use ChatGPT. If you want something with a little bit more depth and knowledge information, use YouTube. It's one of the best resources on the internet. So number 2 is you're going to need some form of approach to nutrition. Now, there's 3 different ways that you can look at this. In my opinion, the 3 best ways are following some form of meal plan, learning how to track your calories, or doing something like intermittent fasting. Now, I'm going to break these down super simple, super quick. Meal plans allow you to have a little bit of structure. They give you exactly what to eat, when to eat, and how much to eat, so they are great for that. If you need that amount of structure in your life, a meal plan can be phenomenal. I am 9 years into coaching, and I still have some clients from time to time use a meal plan in specific instances. I am not adverse to really most styles of diet, and I think have a place for specific instances and specific occasions. So I'm not completely dead against meal plans. They can work for that. Again, ChatGPT could give you that. YouTube could give you that. A Google search. Find me a meal plan for 2,000 calories and 180 grams of protein. You could certainly find something like that. When it comes to figuring out your exact calories, your exact macros, I can certainly break that down in a different video. For now, again, you will find a calorie calculator on the internet for free. You do not need to pay me a penny. If you really need help, you can certainly message me. I will help you with your macros. It costs me 15 seconds of my time, if I'm being honest. Calorie tracking is my preferred method of monitoring your nutrition. Now, that is going to be using something like NutriCheck, MacroFactor, or MyFitnessPal. You're then going to track every single thing that you consume. It's going to allow you to break down exactly what you're eating on a daily basis. So it works really well. Another thing that I think works well is intermittent fasting, but you should also have a little bit of a insight into calorie tracking and maybe meal plans as well, and use them alongside that. Now, intermittent fasting works because you basically eliminate breakfast. That is why you reduce your amount of calories that you're eating by eliminating 1 meal per day. So if normally you eat breakfast, lunch, snack, dinner, snack, you eat 5 times between the hours of 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. All you're doing with intermittent fasting is you're probably going to reduce one or two of those meals. So you're probably going to eliminate breakfast, and maybe you're going to eliminate the snack. So instead of eating from 8 p.m. to 8 p.m., you're now eating your lunch at 12, then your snack in the middle or dinner in the middle, and you're having a snack at maybe 6 p.m. So now you're only eating between 12 and 6 p.m. So that's how it helps you to moderate calorie intake. Instead of eating between the hours of 8 and 8, which is 12 hours, you're going to eat between the hours of 12 and 6, which is 6 hours. So by quite literally halving the amount of time that you spend eating, you're going to consume less calories, you're going to be in a calorie deficit if that's your goal, and it's going to help you lose fat. So keep that in mind. Of course, this depends on your goal. Number 3 is something that maybe a lot of people haven't considered when setting up their own plan, whether that's nutrition or training, and it's that you still need accountability. Now, you're maybe wondering, how do I get accountability if I'm not willing or able to pay a coach right now? You're either going to use yourself, or you're going to use a friend or family member that is close to you that you trust to hold you accountable. So if you're using yourself, I would recommend creating your own self-accountability tracker. Now, again, you can find this on ChatGPT, you can find this on YouTube, you can find this on Google. Quite literally, Google search self-accountability tracker for fitness. If you don't want to do that, you want to make your own, think about the things that you want to monitor over the next 4 to 8 weeks and start there. So I want to know my body weight, I want to know how good my sleep was, I want to know how much I stuck to my nutrition, my training, was my stress high, how was my water intake, how many steps was I doing, how much protein did I consume. Think about all of the factors that you want to monitor. Create some form of form that you can go into every day or every week, and you can hold yourself accountable with that. So that's a really key way to holding yourself accountable if you're not willing or able to pay a coach right now. So keep that in mind. So that's the first way. You want to create some form of self-accountability tracker. Yeah, that's what you want to do. Create something that you can monitor your progress in some way, shape, or form. Now, the more metrics that you measure, the more that you've got control on. So if you're just like, I'm just going to look at body weight, fine. But if you're someone that's going to look at body weight, measurements, photos, they're going to monitor sleep, stress, water, calorie intake, protein, fats, carbs, training volume, you're going to monitor 11 things instead of 1. The person monitoring 11 different factors of their life is going to see much more success than the person monitoring just 1. So please keep that in mind. The more metrics, the more measurements you look at, you're going to see a much bigger difference in those. So keep that in mind. So just to summarize, you can 100% get in shape yourself. You can 100% get in shape without a coach. Having a coach, having a company like MTN, it's always a sales pitch. It is going to speed things up. It's going to make things easier. It's going to take out the guesswork. It's going to give you it just like, there you go. You have a package of things to do. You've got your resources. You can crack on. Equally, coaching isn't for everyone, whether that's cost or whether that's you've just not found someone that you like or gel with. Completely fine. If you want to do it yourself, maybe you're just really independent. You like learning things yourself. You like failing. You like learning from it, and you like that process. That is a lot of people, and to be honest, it's some of the most successful people. So don't think you really need a coach. They can be beneficial though. So yeah, you can do it yourself. It's harder. You're going to spend more time. If time is precious to you, then technically you're going to spend more money as well. So keep that in mind if you're maybe a business owner and time is money to you. It can be easily done though. Plenty of people do it and you can be one of them. There is pro athletes that have taught themselves to be phenomenal at sports. There's pro musicians, there's elite musicians, there's elite athletes, there's elite in every sort of category that have taught themselves the skill. But there is limitations and drawbacks, so keep that in mind. If you'd like to speed up the process, obviously invest in someone that can help you with that. But if you're looking at those three key things, you're looking at finding some form of training plan, finding some form of nutrition approach, being able to monitor the progress is obviously key as well. And having that accountability. Now the accountability kind of comes into the monitoring process. Just to briefly touch on, I think I skipped a part there. When we're talking about the accountability, if you will struggle to hold yourself accountable, you just need to find a friend, family member, something like that can hold you accountable. So just message them, say, look, I'm doing this, I'm creating my own plan for the next 6 to 8 weeks. I need someone to hold me accountable to every single action that I'm going to be doing. Can you be that person? I would really appreciate it. If you're looking to achieve something similar, I can help you do the same thing. Then you've got a little bit of an accountability group. That also works too. So just to summarize, you need some form of training approach, ChatGPT or YouTube. You need some form of nutrition approach. Again, Google, YouTube, ChatGPT. You need some form of accountability, whether that's going to be self-accountability or it's going to be finding a friend or family. That's where you get started. If you do these things for the next 4 to 8 weeks, you should begin to see results. Is it going to be perfect? No. Is it going to be as fast and as easy as having a coach? No. Is it going to allow you to get started, which is arguably the most important thing? Yes. So that's what I want you to keep in mind. As I said at the start of this podcast, when I was briefly explaining what it's going to all be about, I'm going to have a recommendation every single week. I'll be honest, this week's pretty simple. It was the first podcast. I thought I'd keep it nice, light-hearted, nice and sweet. And it's going to be a song by one of my favourite country artists called Tyler Childers. It's a song called White House Road. Now, what I want you to do with this song is listen to it. But I want you to listen to it on repeat 3, 5, 6 times over and over, because I feel like that's the best way to really listen to and engage with a song, rather than just one single, I liked it, I didn't like it. I don't think you can do that unless it's Pitbull, who of course only creates terrible music. So if you've got, somebody's recommending you music, let's do it a few times, because it sometimes takes a little bit of time to get into that. Anyway, that is your song recommendation. It's Tyler Childers, White House Road. Let's do it 3 to 5 times and you'll be as hooked as I was when I first discovered it. Thank you so much. We will be back soon with the next episode. Like I said, I do plan on keeping these pretty consistent, so you can hold me to that. Cheers.